Hello everybody, this is Fointo Bobbin here and welcome to the Boring Duels at Daytona. We're not far from the Daytona 500 now and this is where the speed really matters. We've already determined who will start where and now it's time to do battle. We've got two races to run, both of which will set the starting grid for the Daytona 500. Only 21 drivers in each race will be able to move on to the main event, which means some drivers will be going home tonight. On top of that, 10 bonus points will go to the winners of both duels. So with that being said, let's bring on duel number 1. Here we go for duel number 1 at Daytona. So let's give you a starting grid for this one. Starting the pole for this one is Eric Jones, alongside second is the Xbox Nerd, third is Kana, fourth is Douglas, fifth is Kevin Harvick, sixth is Joey Logano, seventh is Denny Hamlin, eighth is Russell David, ninth is Chris Buescher, 10th is Tim Tom, 11th is Derper, 12th is Christopher Bell, 13th is Noah Gragson, 14th is Kyle Larson, 15th is Ryan Preece, 16th is Alex Bowman, 17th is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 18th is Bob Wallace, 19th is Austin Dillon, 20th is Ryan Newman, 21st is Hubi Lexipos, 22nd is Rebecca, 23rd is Martin Trace Jr., 24th is Mommy, 25th is Clint Boyer, 26th is Chad Fincham, and 27th is Gridron. Alright, so I am very excited for this one. We got quite a few powerhouses in this race and some newbies as well. Now you've got Kana starting in third. I can't believe that Kana is starting this high up in her first race ever. However, this is going to be a make or break situation for a lot of these drivers because, you know, especially Kana, because while she did well in qualifying, this is going to be her first ever time in a race environment. So as the field rules out, you know, you've got Eric Jones on the pole, and Eric Jones is the only driver in this race who is guaranteed into the Daytona 500. Everyone else, it depends on whether they finish in the top 21. But luckily, that's all you have to do to make it into the Daytona 500. Just finish in the top 21. That's all it takes. Xbox Nerd up here as well. You know, both YouTube Proof Motorsports drivers actually did really well in qualifying. I'm quite impressed. But I think a lot of people are going to have their eyes on Kana. Because, you know, Kana, she's the new girl on the block. So the big question everyone's asking is how good is she going to do in a race environment? It feels being a bit weird. Alright, come on guys, let's get lined up. We're about to go racing. Also, as you can see, we fixed the Xbox Nerd, so now he has green rims this time. Russell David as well in this race. It's going to be interesting to see how well he does. Anyway, pace car is off. And green flag is in the air for duel number 1 at Daytona. The Xbox Nerd actually getting a bit of a launch on the start of the race. But Eric Jones, well, the Xbox Nerd, his launch was better. And the real Xbox Nerd is going to shut the door on Eric Jones. That's something you don't see every day. The real Xbox Nerd, he got the speed. I got the launch on the start. And now the real Xbox Nerd leading in Daytona. But here comes Kana already making moves. Kana started really high up in this race. Already making or trying to make the gains to be up here. This is for racing in the Daytona 500. And it said Kana, you know, she will also be racing in the Siemens National Series race tomorrow, but let's see if she can make it into Daytona 500 today. Joey Logano on as well on the low line trying to keep up. And Kana darts to the inside of the real Xbox Nerd. And Kana, the newbie out of Solus Motorsports, takes the lead at Daytona in her first ever race. How about that? Already impressive stuff from the rookie out of Japan. Although, well, she doesn't quite go to the bottom lane, though, as here is Joey Logano now taking the lead. We've also got Russell David up here as well. Rookie out of Tobaba Motorsports, who's had a mediocre season so far. Logano, however, Logano can't quite shut the door on the bottom lane. That's going to allow them to get to him. As Russell David in the bottom lane has speed. And yeah, Russell David now takes the lead at Daytona. This is actually the second time this season that Russell David has led in a dual race. He did lead a couple laps in the duel back at Willow Springs. While Christopher Bell on the low line, those guys are trying to keep up as well. So far though, Russell David and Tim Tom holding the high line, and they are now going down to the low line to defend their position. Christopher Bell as well and some other rookies getting up here. Ooh, Tim Tom. Not quite sure where to go. Here comes Noah Gregson running really high up the field today. Looks like that Beard Motorsports number 62 is fast today. But so is Christopher Bell, who's trying to win his first race. Well, I mean, it is a duel. So, as Tim Tom and Christopher Bell now go low, and they're going to make it 3 wide for the lead. And Christopher Bell straight to lead Daytona. Noah Gregson sticking with him as well. And Christopher Bell is going to lead this lap at Daytona. Noah Gregson up here as well. You've also got Ryan Preece, who's done really well this season. And Ryan Preece is going to overtake Noah Gregson for second. And what's this up here? A couple of slower cars, Derper and Bubba Wallace up here. Amazing how those guys are really high up this pack now. Meanwhile, another pair of rookies are going at it with each other. Ryan Preece looking to find a way around Christopher Bell. But Christopher Bell, however, going to lead this lap. You know, Christopher Bell, he almost won the Clash, I think. Or at least he was up. He was up here for a bit in the Clash, so got a little bit of practice from that race they can use in this one. Christopher Bell, he does have a career win this season. But could he get a little win in something else this year in the duels? Oh, Ryan Preece tries to go into Christopher Bell, but Bell starts to join him. Bell's got Derper out of Snail Road Racing. This is the best that Derper has looked in quite a while. Then again, this is a super speedway, so you kind of expect that. We saw this quite a bit in the Truck Series race, and now we're seeing it here in the Cup Series. I might see it some more in the Teams United Series race. Anyway, Denny Hamlin's also moved his way up now. But Christopher Bell's doing a pretty good job at keeping his lead here. Let's take a look back in the field for a moment and find out who's in the final transfer spot, who is actually safe. So Kyle Larson, at this moment, is the last driver in the final transfer spot. Alright. So getting back up to the lead pack, we'll keep an eye on these guys for the time being. I think what we'll do actually after this race is we'll of course show the winner, you know, the finish, as Ryan Preece goes beneath. Christopher Bell take the lead away from him. We'll also go back and show the race for the final transfer spot. You know, just see who is in and who is out. That said, if Eric Jones, your pole sitter, somehow finishes below the top 21, then it's going to be the top 20 drivers going to be making the Daytona 500 based on this race. And Denny Hamlin goes to the bottom. Because 21 drivers in this race are racing in the Daytona 500. But of course, like we mentioned earlier, Eric Jones is the only one with the guarantee, as he won the pole last week. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin making his moves, trying to take the lead. Oh, but he loses straight away. Now we got some veterans up here. Here's Kevin Harvick. We've also got Rebecca and a couple slow guys. Here comes Kana back up to the field. Rebecca, however, who hasn't had a great season, here she is up here. Nothing worth mentioning. If you are not racing the Daytona 500 Special, if you win this race, you will score 10 bonus points, I think. And Rebecca takes the lead at Daytona. Here's the 44 of Mommy, who, another driver who we don't usually see up here. Here she is running really well for position, up to second place. That's insane. Rebecca, however, holds the lead for now. And Kana, who was falling back a bit, here she is back up here now. Might be a little bit early in the race for that, though. So the best time to be up here is when the race is almost over, because then you have a pretty good chance at holding your position. But of course, you know, we're almost at the halfway point in this duel, but even so, you could still very well fall back a lot of spots, and it could really hurt you as far as making the Daytona 500. Anyway, Clint Boyer, Rebecca now holding the lead. Quite a few Ford guys and gals up here as well. But there's a couple to Bob Motorsports Chevys now coming up. Here's who'll be Lexingpulse as Clint Boyer now dives underneath Rebecca. Here's who'll be Lexingpulse and Russell David, a couple of Bob Motorsports guys helping each other out. Who'll be part of the Daytona 500 special, so he can't score points in this race. But he can at least help out his teammate. And Clint Boyer almost shuts the door on Kana, and he does actually. So Kana holding her ground, and Gridgen here as well. Oh, but Kana, oh dear, that's not good communication amongst Solis Motorsports drivers. Here's Gridgen's coming up here now. Quite a few Solis Motorsports guys up here as well. Hubi Alex was going all the way to the high line. I think people are expecting him to make the 500 as well, as he's a Bob Motorsports guy. Anyway, Gridgen up here now. Oh, Kana getting trapped on the high line. And Russell David was here just a little bit earlier in this race. He's now back up here trying to reach position, and here he goes beneath Gridgen. And Russell David going to get underneath Gridgen to take the lead from him. Or take second from him, I mean. We've also got Clint Boyer up here. Boyer using the experience that he gained from his win at Pensacola for this track. But I mean Pensacola Super Speedway. Russell David, however, who is still yet to win anything in the Cup Series or anything in the NRL in general. Trying to win this race potentially. As Martin Truex Jr. now goes low. So we got a veteran up here now. Christopher Bell, who was here just a little bit earlier in this race, coming back up from the field. And Martin Truex Jr. Yep, sticking behind Clint Boyer for now. And Christopher Bell coming back up here. Oh, the Real Xbox Nerd. Oh, you may notice all the way back there. Wow, the Real Xbox Nerd, who was starting on the second row, is now below the final transfer. In fact, we can actually look here on the scoreboard. Right now, the Real Xbox Nerd is actually outside the final transfer spot, and right now, Eric Jones actually the last one in the final transfer spot, as Martin Truex Jr. and Christopher Bell go low. You've also got some of the guys. If you look, some of the guys outside the final transfer spot. Anyway, getting back up to the lead. Truex takes it, but his JGR affiliate teammate of Christopher Bell helping him out in a way for now. Russell David's still up here. And Martin Truex Jr. goes to the bottom lane, leaving Christopher Bell for dead. And Russell David, the chance of winning this race is still pretty high up in the air. Although maybe, if Russell David can stay behind Truex for long enough and then make the move on the final lap, or somewhere close to it, he could ultimately win this race. But we still have 5 laps to go this time by until we find out for sure. Ooh, Kyle Larson though tries to go underneath Russell David, but Russell David shuts the door on him. So 5 to go. And Russell David makes the move now, going beneath Martin Truex Jr. to take the lead. And if Russell David does win, he will score bonus points. Oh, but he's got the low lane behind. Ah, well. Russell David might be able to make a last-minute maneuver, but unfortunately, he's stuck on the high line, which is not good. Here comes Kyle Larson. Actually, Kyle Larson is going to get sent high by Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman now to the inside. Ryan Preece is up here as well. Actually, both the JTG guys are up here. Sentos is here, racing up here as well. 4 laps to go. Alex Bowman leads. Oh, looks like Xbox Nerd though back in the same spot. Anyway, so Alex Bowman are going down on Ryan Preece. If you look at the who's in, who's out. Oh, Eric Jones actually below the top 21. And one that's worth mentioning, if Eric Jones happens to finish below the top 21, then that means that only drivers who finish in the top 20 will actually make the 500. Because, you know, Eric Jones is already guaranteed into the race. Anyway, Alex Bowman, he hasn't quite won anything in the Cup Series either at this moment. 3 laps to go. Alex Bowman under fire from GTG Dotery Racing. And Ryan Preece gonna make the move. And Ryan Preece makes the move on Alex Bowman. As for the lead, for some reason, Senna's sticking with Bowman on the high line, though. Not a smart idea. Man, Senna's gonna have to drop down. Actually, a lot of things going on here. Alex Bowman actually holding his ground on the high line. These two are pretty close together now. And might come down to these two. Comes who'll be Lex and Pulse. He's up here now. Very impressive stuff from him. 2 laps to go in duel number 1. It's anyone's race now. Ryan Preece is quite a bit of help behind him from Hubi Lex and Pulse. Hubi Lex Pulse also in his first ever Cup Series event. Could this be something interesting? Oh, Ryan Preece goes high. Hubi Lex Pulse goes low. I don't know how many people expected to see this today, but here is Hubi Lex Pulse in his first Cup race. Not like big race, but is he actually going to win? Unfortunately, Hubi Lex Pulse can't score any points from this one. He's part of the Daytona Special. He's already scoring points in the Siemens National Series, but still, if he could win, that would be absolutely impressive. Here we go, white flag, 1 more lap to go. Ryan Preece has the lead, but Hubi Lex Pulse looking to find a way around him. Can the Tobob Motorsports rookie win something in the Cup Series now? It's going to be close. The race is on now between Ryan Preece and Hubi Lex Pulse. Alright, how long until Hubi Lex Pulse makes the move to the inside? He's going to make it right here on the back straightaway. Oh, he's got to be quick though. Oh man, he can't quite make the pass. I don't know if Hubi Lex Pulse has time now. A second place will still be impressive, but he might have one more shot to get him past Ryan Preece for the win. He can't quite do it. Ryan Preece will win duel number 1 at Daytona. How about that? Ryan Preece out of GTG Dotery Racing will win. And he will get those bonus championship points as he is part of the championship battle. Hubi Lex Pulse, however, was very close. Would have been just that little bit cool to see Hubi Lex Pulse win. But, you know what? It's early days for Hubi Lex Pulse. That said, though, for Hubi Lex Pulse, he is now in the Daytona 500. So, hey, there's always another shot. However, that is the conclusion of duel number 1. So let's actually see who finished where. Oh, dearie me. Well, we'll talk about it in just a second. But anyway, so Ryan Preece, of course, winning duel number 1 at Daytona, with Hubi Lex Pulse coming second, a very good day for him. Alex Bowman coming up 3rd, Durper 4th, Chris Buescher 5th, Reese Jones Jr. 6th, Tim Tom 7th, Carlos in 8th, Joe Legon 9th, Wilson David 10th, Xbox Nerd 11th, good for those guys. Ryan Newman 12th, Denny Hamlin 13th, Austin Dillon 14th, Mark Stachir 15th, Chad Fincham 16th, Noah Gregson 17th, Eric Jones 18th, Klimbor 19th, Kevin Robert 20th, and Christopher Bell in 21st. So Eric Jones does finish in the top 20, so that means that top 21 drivers are making it into the Daytona 500. But that means Kana, who there was quite a bit of hype around after how fast she was in qualifying, Kana does not finish in the top 21. Wow, that's going to be disappointing for a lot of people. So Kana, unfortunately, she will now race in the Daytona 500. That's not to say that Kana will be back. She will be making some more Cup Series starts later on in the year, but unfortunately for Kana, she will not race in the Daytona 500, and neither will Gridgen coming out 22nd, Kana 23rd, Mommy 24th, Rebecca 25th, Bud Walls 26th, and Douglas 27th. So So Gridgen, who's already having a pretty bad season, not going to be in the 500, I'm afraid. And Rebecca, however, you know, I think quite a few people were expecting Rebecca to be fast, and she was even leading a couple laps, but unfortunately she falls back too far. And unfortunately for Rebecca, she will not be in the Daytona 500, and neither will Bob Walls or Douglas, who wasn't having a bad season. So, yeah, overall, very interesting results, I suppose you can say. But, yeah, so some interesting results. I cannot talk anymore. So, you have some good results for some guys, but not so good results for other guys, unfortunately. So, yeah. I think a lot of people though were really excited for Kana. At least I was excited for Kana, but unfortunately for Kana, as fast as he wasn't qualifying, it means nothing now as he is not racing in the Daytona 500. She was even leading a couple laps as well, but I guess she just got caught up. I mean, to be fair though, Kana is a rookie, a brand new driver, so you probably expect a rookie driver to make those kind of mistakes. But well, it's like the nature of auto racing. So here's a bit of a point of interest that I didn't really go over before, but we're going to go over this now. And that is the margin of who actually made the Daytona 500 or not. Because, the winner of the duel is just as important as who actually made the race itself. Because, this is, of course, a race side. Who is in and who is out. So we're going to pay attention to Christopher Bell here. As Christopher Bell was in the final transport position, but now it is time to find out how he was in the final transfer spot position and how close he was to not making the Daytona 500. So, final lap here, Christopher Bell is battling with some various drivers. Got Noah Gragson, Khan, and Aaron Jones, and various other guys surrounding him. But it's Christopher Bell's job to pretty much hold them off. He's actually on the high line, so in a pretty dangerous spot and in a very close position to actually missing out on the race. Who ducks down to the inside but can't quite complete the maneuver as his teammate-in-law of Aaron Jones happens to be down there. So Christopher Bell, pretty dangerous spot, but he does hold on as he's going to lose one more spot to Kevin Harvick, and that's how Christopher Bell is in the final transfer spot. But then, come to the start-finish line, he makes the race only just. This was the margin of victory, though, or the margin of who actually made the race, as Christopher Bell edged out Gridgen by half a car length. And that was the difference between making the Daytona 500 and not being in the Daytona 500. And that's actually how Kana fell out of the Daytona 500. Kana, bit of hype around her. We thought she was going to make the race or had a pretty good shot, and she didn't even do this. And this was how close it was. Kana, she was not even that far away from making the Daytona 500, but she ultimately just couldn't haul. And Gridgen, he actually had a run on Christopher Bell. Had we had one more lap, Gridgen likely would have made the Daytona 500 by overtaking Christopher Bell. But time right now, and Christopher Bell, who was actually in a pretty dangerous position, if Christopher Bell had any less momentum, he likely would have been overtaken by Gridgen and likely would have not a race in the Daytona 500. But that's the margin of who made in and who wasn't. And Christopher Bell ultimately succeeded and beat out Gridgen and made the 500. It was close, but ultimately pulled it off. Anyway, enough blabbering about. Let's bring on duel number 2. Alright, it is time for duel number 2. So let's give you the starting grid for this one. So the poll for this one is actually pretty simple. Alongside in second is Bang Coaches. Third is Eric Gamrola. Fourth is Cole Custer. Fifth is Nia. Sixth is Kurt Busch. Seventh is Matt DiBenedetto. Eighth is William Byron. Ninth is Case Elliott. 10th is Kyle Busch. 11th is James Six. 12th is Ryan Blaney. 13th is Florian DeBobbin. 14th is Reed Sorensen. 15th is Tyler Reddick. 16th is Oliver. 17th is Austin Cindric. 18th is Mitch Slady. 19th is Justin Haley. 20th is Quinn Half. 21st is Brad Keselowski. 22nd is Donald. 23rd is Daniel Suarez. 24th is Ross Chastain. 25th is Doug. 26th is Mitch Slade's brother. And 27th is Jimmy Johnson. Alright, so not as many, let's say, drivers that people are excited for in this race, but it should still be a good one nonetheless. I guess now the question in this race is going to be, can Jimmy Johnson come from the back of the field to come back, you know what I mean. Basically, Jimmy Johnson, he was the slowest in qualifying. And by the slowest, I mean Jimmy Johnson was the slowest in qualifying. And my Prairie Serp starting on pole for this race. So Prairie Serp, he's still locked in. Albeit he's gonna be, you know, on the high line of the front row rather than the low line, like he was at Willow Springs. Either way, however, I'm sure people are still keen to see how well Prairie Serp does in this race. As you learned in the last one, you fall back as quickly as you can, you know, go up, if you know what I mean. So anyways, I'm definitely keen to see who's in and who's out of this race. Once again, top 21 are the ones in the Daytona 500. So anyways, with that being said, green flag is in the air for duel number 2 at Daytona. This time Prairie Serp is the one getting the launch off of the start, with the rookie Cole Custer sitting behind him. Not as many rookies in this one, but that's okay. The high line actually the dominant line at the moment. Prairie Serp's got Cole Custer behind him, and these two might... Yep, there they go. Going down to the bottom lane. It's Cole Custer taking behind Prairie Serp for now. I'm definitely keen to see how well Cole Custer can do in this race. And Kurt Busch, though, going to dive beneath Cole Custer. Interesting fact, Kurt Busch used to drive the 41. So essentially now he's just started onto the bottom lane of what was his old ride. Matt Badeno up here. Oh, Kurt Busch though goes to the inside of Prairie Serp. I take the lead away from him. And Matt Benedetto up here now. Now, Matt Benedetto, he raced in the class just yesterday. Oh my goodness, just last week. I actually recorded the class just yesterday, as of the day that I'm recording this. So Matt Benedetto did race in the clash. He actually made it into the clash at the very last minute as he won the very previous race at Homestead. So Matt Benedetto got a bit of practice in the clash. Now I'm trying to put that practice into here at Daytona. Here's Chase Elliott up here. And here comes Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, current points leader in this series. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where everyone sits after the duels. Because remember, if you win the duels, you do earn extra championship points. As Ryan Blaney, oh, it looked underneath Chase Elliott for a second, but couldn't quite get there in time. Top three same with each other. Chase Elliott probably looking for a way around Matt DiBenedetto. Chase Elliott, however, he's quite experienced, so he should know best. Single file mostly for the field up here. No one seems to be making any daring moves just yet. William Byron. Oh, Byron goes beneath Ryan Blaney. Let's get about William Byron a little bit. He's gonna get up a spot on Ryan Blaney, and so is Freund de Bobbin. For the Bobbins, new team driver almost won duel number 1. So let's see how close Point of Bobbin gets to winning this duel. As Chase Elliott, William Byron though gonna ditch his teammate and go to the low line. Point of Bobbin also looking to get down. Oh, but Point of Bobbin doesn't get down. That's gonna cost him a bit. So, Matt Benedetto, he goes from the high line to the low line. And William Byron now up here in second. Tyler Reddick up here as well. And here comes Dangerous Hicks. Dangerous Hicks, he's become quite good on these super speedways as he almost won at Orlando. And Tyler Reddick goes low. Ooh, William Byron looked like he was going to go low. He thought about it, but then there wasn't quite enough room. But Tyler Reddick successfully makes the bottom lane, sticking behind Matt DiBenedetto. And here comes Dangerous Hicks. Dangerous, who did lead a couple laps at Orlando, trying to prove that he belongs. Oh, but he gets caught up a little bit by Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch sticking with the field. And here comes Mr. Lady's brother. You know, Snowball Racing didn't actually do that bad, all things considered, in duel number 1. So Mr. Lady, the only Snowball Racing driver in this duel, trying to impress. And here is Freund de Bomben. Kyle Busch, however, he's not giving up. And Kyle Busch looks like he's going to have the inside line on Kyle Reddick. And yes, he does. Kyle Busch makes it to the low line and gets by Matt DiBenedetto. Going to Bobbin, however, making moves. And Kyle Busch going to the inside line. And Kyle Busch now takes the lead. I should mention a few of these guys raced in the IROC race last week. And the client's supposed to have quite a bit of practice going into this one. And here comes Mr. Lady. Man, was it with the Snailwood Racing drivers doing this good here at Daytona? Guess for now we'll check on who's in, who's out. Denny Hamlin, Oliver actually, the first one outside the cut line, and Jimmy Johnson outside the final transfer spot as well. Now by cut line I meant final transfer spot. So Udir Jimmy Johnson have to pick up the pace if he's going to race in Daytona front of his Brad Keselowski. He takes over the position from Mr. Lady. Bank Coach is up here now as well. Bank Coach, who initially started on the front row of this race, trying to come back to impress. A little bit of slowing up there. There's quite a few guys on this low line. Kyle Busch is going to lead this lap. Brad Keselowski, however, looking to lead this particular lap. And here comes Donald. Want a bit of action here. And Brad Keselowski now getting onto a bit of a lead as Donald is getting forced in the middle between Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch. Donald right now in a Busch Brothers sandwich. Perhaps not the best place you want to be. Ironically, Donald's own brother Douglas actually finished dead last in duel number 1. So, there's only one Scottish twin left to try to make the 500. Ronald Donald's doing pretty well, but you never know when he could fall back. Meanwhile, Kurt Busch trying to keep up with Brad Keselowski. Now, William Byron, he's been quite impressive in this race. Once getting up from Ryan Blaney and his tender teammate of Chase Elliott. Actually, 3 out of the 400 guys are in this race. So far, 2 of them are quite likely to make the 500. But they have Jimmy Johnson, who... oh, he's close right now. We'll take back at that a little bit later on. There's William Byron trying to stay in front of Ryan Blaney. His field going crazy now. The entire top lane just went to the bottom lane there. Brad Keselowski still leads. But how much longer can he lead for? William Byron, though, and Ryan Blaney going with each other to get around Kurt Busch. Still quite a ways to go in this race. This is going absolutely insane now. Brad Keselowski's doing a pretty good job to hold his lead. And actually his Penske teammate of Austin Cindric is coming up. And so is Brad Keselowski. So we got a few Penske guys up here. The Penske train is forming of Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, and rookie Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric, he is a Siemens National Series winner 2 times actually. So Austin Cindric, this is his first ever Cup race. So Austin Cindric trying to do what Kana couldn't and make this race. Austin Cindric, however, he started a bit of a ways back in the field, but now here he is, up in the top 3, and Austin Cindric gonna go beneath Ryan Blaney, and Austin Cindric, another driver in the Daytona 500 Special, who we Lexipulse enough was also in the Daytona 500 Special and was running second and almost won the race, but couldn't quite seal the deal. However, let's see if Austin Cindric can do that. Austin Cindric might be able to because he has just a bit more Cup experience than Hubi Lexipulse, or I should say a bit more racing experience, as Austin Cindric did run part-time in the Siemens NAC Series last year, of course running full-time in the series this year. I just see some... I don't think so. Oh, but Austin Cindric, though, going to get stuck on the high line as Doug is going to come in. Perez is going to go down low as well. Oh dear, Austin Cindric not making things too easy for himself. Brad Keselowski, however, he's like quite a few laps now. Can he do it? Tyler Reddick and lead all the way to the end? Here comes Perez Serp, who actually started, or will be starting second in the Daytona 500. Oh, here comes Doug. Oh, that's going to be it for Brad Keselowski. Is Doug now going beneath him? And Perez Serp on the high line as well. Here comes Cole Custer and Ross Chastain here as well. It's getting pretty dicey with a couple laps to go. Doug has the lead. Here comes rookie Cole Custer trying to get up here. And you know, rookie did win duel number 1 of Ryan Preece. So it could go 2 for 2 for rookies and Cole Custer. Although Ross Chastain, though, doing pretty well for himself. But Cole Custer sticking with Duck. 2 laps to go. Who is going to win? Cole Custer doing pretty good at sticking with Duck, but how long can he stick for? Well, we only have to do it for another couple laps. Oh, Cole Custer, there he goes, beneath Duck. Rothstein follows him. Rothstein, however, looking for his first win in a Cup Series race. White flag, one more lap to go. Cole Custer has the lead, but can he keep it? He just has to keep the lead for one more lap. Oh, here comes the Stewart Haas teammate of Eric Almirola. It's gonna get interesting because he has to hold on for just one more lap. Here comes the low line. Oliver and others coming up. Cole Custer might have to defend, and Eric Almirola gonna go beneath Cole Custer. No one for one, I'm afraid. Oh, no one went for him, I'm afraid. That's Eric Almirola, who is going to steal the win away from his own teammate. But here comes Oliver on the low line. Might have something for him. It's going to come to the line, but Eric Almirola is going to block Oliver. And Eric Almirola will win duel number 2 at Daytona. Not quite going to go 2 for 2 for rookies, but still an impressive day from the Stewart Haas camp in this one. Well, we almost went 2 for 2 for rookies, but unfortunately for Custer, he just couldn't hold on for another lap. At least he tried. Not too many fast guys, actually, not in the 500. Well, the finish of this race was interesting, but now it's time to go over the finishing results as a whole. So you got Eric Almirola winning this duel with Oliver coming second, Cole Custer third, Ben Coochie fourth, Ryan Blaney fifth, Ross Sustain sixth, Chase Elliott seventh, Doug eighth, William Byron ninth, Brad Kozlowski 10th, Neil 11th, Perry Sub 12th, Thornton Boblin 13th, Austin Cindric 14th, Miss Lady 15th, Kyle Buck 16th, Tyler Reddick 17th, Donald 18th, Jimmy Johnson 19th, Kurt Busch 20th, and Dangerous Hicks in 21st. So Dangerous Hicks makes the final transfer spot. He only just makes it into the 500. He's going to be starting far back in the field, but he's got a bit of a challenge. And meanwhile, Reed Sorensen in 22nd, and then, well, yeah, then you have the guys not going to be racing 500. So Reed Sorensen in 22nd, Matt Bedell 23rd, Daniel Suarez 24th, Justin Haley 25th, Quinn Half 26th, and Miss Slay's brother in 27th. So Miss Slay's brother, who was leading for a bit, finishes dead last in this one. And Matt DiBenedetto, who just won a couple weeks ago, Homestead Miami Speedway, will not race in the Daytona 500. That is quite unfortunate for the Wood Brothers camp. They will not be in the Daytona 500. But such is the nature of the duels at Daytona, or the duels in general. So, okay, so time to look at who made it and who was out and how it happened this time for duel number 2. And this time we're going to put the focus on Dangerous Hicks. As Dangerous Hicks, he was the one who ultimately was very close to not making the 500, and I would actually say his the way that he did make the race was even closer. So he stuck high. He wasn't already in the final transfer spot, so he had to do some maneuvering as Matt DiBenedetto hits the wall. So you got Jimmy Johnson, Reed Sorensen, very other drivers around. You got a couple of Daytona 500 special drivers as well, but those guys don't really do much here. So Dangerous Hicks though gets around Matt DiBenedetto now, setting up for the finish. He's side by side with Reed Sorensen, and this is the race. This is to decide who's in and who's out. And it comes right to the start-finish line, and Dangerous Hicks just barely edges him out. Like, that was really close. So if you see it again, they actually traded places off of turn number 4, and Reed Sorensen actually had the position over Dangerous Hicks come on the front straightaway, but Hicks had just a little bit more momentum, or a little bit more momentum, and ultimately he edged Reed Sorensen out by this much. That was the difference. Like, it was close, but ultimately this here, that was the race. And man, it was close. It was definitely very close. Closer than the last time. Like, this was literally by a front bumper that Hicks made the Daytona 500. Because, man, if Reed Sorensen had just a little bit more speed, this could have been a very different story between these two. So, that is going to wrap it up for today. Racing in Daytona. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.